Hi, and welcome to Behind the Saddle. My name's Liam, and today with professional jockey Mark Lawson. Mark, lovely to have you on the show.
Yeah, great, and it's nice to be invited and get to have a little chat. Gives me a bit of time away from actually just doing the job and talking about it. So yeah, really
Yeah, definitely. We'll look forward to speaking more about obviously yourself and obviously being a jockey. So let's just take it back to the very start for yourself. How did you get involved in racing and obviously becoming a jockey?
I'm just a young kid and very small. Didn't really have much going for me in life, to be honest with you. When I left school, I didn't have many GCSEs, and whilst I wasn't academically bright, I was bright as in light. I was brought up to look after myself and do life in my own way, basically. And I basically, with my career as advisor at school, turned around and said to me that I should look at doing something to do with horses. I'd had nothing to do with them before.
Yeah.
And then, basically I went off to racing school, and that was it then. It was, what should I say, the bug bit, and that was it. I was away, and no matter how many times I tried to walk away from the sport, it always seems to lure me back in.
And how was that experience for you? Obviously, we've been down to the National Horse Racing College in Doncaster. I'm not too sure which one you went to, but how was that experience for you early on?
I went to, it was actually NRS then. It's changed since.
Yeah.
But like I say, I don't recall too much about it really. All I know is that I did enjoy my time, and a lot of the lads that were there with me at the time, I still know now. One of the girls is actually one of my best friends, missuses. I've known her for 20 odd years, Kirsty, and it's just one of them. It's like it's all been a bit of a roller coaster. Like horse racing is a roller coaster, and I think so much happens in so quick. You kind of forget a lot of the little bits, but I always know that it was a good experience, and that it obviously left a good experience because I've, like I said, no matter how many times I've tried to use a new path in life, the horse racing world's just brought me back. So it's just, yeah.
No, definitely. I say it's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk about obviously your biggest influences, obviously growing up in the sport, and obviously mentors. How did that evolve? And obviously what you look on as a jockey now?
I always there's always certain jockeys that you look up to, and you always look up to people, and I can name people that it was more to do with like head lads and assistants and people like that helped me during the time to make me a better person. Like, did I look up at jockeys? The way I look at jockeys is, I think you kind of, although you have your go-to jockey who you look up to and go, you want to ride like.
Yeah.
I think you design yourself as a person now. I think we're all different in different ways. We all cope in different ways. We all ride in different ways, and that's why when it comes to race riding, it's so tactical. It's not just 20 people that have got the same like mind situation and they go in and do the same thing. It's everybody's got their own go-to thing, and would I look up to when I was, if I was looking at jockeys, I probably would have said around that time, like I said, Kieran Fallon and Johnny Mert is probably my favourite. I love watching Johnny Mert ride. I thought it was class. And there's so many of them out there, like ultra talented that, you know, that's why they become the elite, because they've got that extra, I don't know, the mentality. It's either mentality or skills, and
No, yeah, definitely. And obviously, before then, you just mentioned about obviously people off the track who don't ride, and obviously like head travellers. How important do you think them people behind the scenes are vital in being in horse racing?
I think to be honest with you, I think they're more vital than being jockeys. Like I rode for so many years in different countries, rode a bit in England, and I've done plenty of that side. But on the flip side, I've done the travelling side. I chose to do that for a bit. Did my HGV through Oaksey House, and then I became yard manager for Dan and Claire, obviously recently, or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And have helped run their yard and do the day-to-day basics. and what lads do in racing, there's not enough recognition from them. Honestly, I think
I totally agree.
that if you haven't got good lads riding them out in the morning, then what we got on in the afternoon, they ain't going to produce the goods. And it's all about having a big team. I will be honest with you, once upon a time thought it was all about being the jockey, and riding winners is the key. It's not. It's about having the people in the background, being humble in that respect as well, and treating everybody the same, whether it's the lad yardman that's mucking out from another country, or whether it's one of the top lads. Like, it's treat everybody the way you expect to be treated. That's how I see things.
No, yeah, definitely, 100% agree what you said there. Obviously, with our channel Behind the Saddle, that's what we're trying to showcase, and obviously, like, shine the spotlight on them people who obviously go unnoticed in the sport for the amazing jobs that they actually do.
Yeah, and then it's long hours, long days, like, and it's same for everybody. Whether it's jockeys sitting in a car from first thing in the morning to the last thing at night.
Yeah.
The lads in the yards are exactly the same. They're still going around ice boot, whether it's simple things like ice boots and just everything. Like, I did the day-to-day grill of being a yard manager and keeping horses sound and doing right by your boss. And like I said, head lads, all lads, anybody, even like I said, even the least person in the yard, like, I don't even, yard security or something like that, they're still doing a job that's vital, that's keeping a clock ticking, basically.
No, definitely 100%. What do you say being your toughest challenge so far in the saddle, or being a jockey? What do you think the toughest challenge
I'd say my toughest challenge is probably this comeback. I took 10 years out of the saddle, and I swore I'd never do it again because it was just so tough, mentally, physically, struggling with my way, and like, really just, yeah, it's such a hard sport. Like I said to a lot of people, you can ride a winner 1 minute and everybody thinks you're a hero. You go out 30 minutes later, you're riding something that gets beat that you should have won on, and then you go home and kick yourself. So although you've had a good day, you've had a bad day. And it's the same as me. The whole comeback experience for me is, now I've got a family and I've got a daughter, and she's only 11. She understands, but while she understands, it's very tough for her. And it's actually, I've took on a lot more than I thought it'd be easy than I thought it would be. And then, in the same respect, how I feel as a rider, like, coming back, I questioned myself a lot, and I've slowly got back into that, and then finally I feel where I'm at.
Yeah.
But there's a long process because, like, I rode 4 winners very quickly, and I was like, oh, here we go, I'm away again. And then it's just gone a little bit quiet, and it's just because of the pure fact that you can't just come back and jump on 50 horses that are all going to win, and you've got to go through the process of doing what you've got to do. And at the minute, I'm grateful for everything I'm riding, and I'm just trying to keep my head down whilst it's very tough, because I'm 44 now, so I keep myself to myself. I don't really go out and do much. I don't party or I just literally want to go to work, get the job done, do right for my family this winter, and then see what the longer process holds. But that's the plan.
No, definitely 100%. And obviously, let's talk about where you are now. And obviously, you've had over 200 worldwide winners. Talk to me a little bit about what the transition was like. Obviously, coming back from a 10-year comeback to obviously now riding over in Bahrain.
Well, I went through a real rigorous program with OCAUs, and I had a nutritionist, and I went through this real big program of just losing weight, and I probably overdone it because I got down to 54, and when I started riding again, I just didn't feel like how I was before. I was always not a bigger lad because I'm only 5'4", but I was physically stronger, and I felt stronger, and I went through this process, and people were saying that I was riding well, and I was doing well. And this was at the time when I rode the 4 winners.
Yeah.
And I just didn't feel what I wanted to feel. I felt like I wasn't what I am as a rider. I like to think that in the finish, I want to be strong. I want to make horses finish well. That's. I know there's a race, the scenario of race riding, but I always believe that good horses will take you where you want to go anywhere, and then the finish is for me, that's one of the crucial bits, and I always like to feel like I'm doing that right, and I didn't quite feel like that, and I've put on a little bit of weight since, and I've felt a lot better. I just need a few more chances on nicer horses, but that'll come if I keep just trusting the process. Like I decided literally last week that I wanted to take a little bit of a trip home, and I spoke to Dan and Claire because obviously I've contracted to be a work rider for them in the morning. That was the original deal, and then I'd go off and do my own thing riding because I was in the Middle East for 4 years previous. So I've gone and done that. So, and they agreed, and I just believe that this time of year, especially missing Christmas and New Year, and
it must be hard
watching everything so much. Yeah, I literally needed that break, and they gave me the opportunity. So I've just literally jumped on a plane there, surprised the little girl, and it's strange because I was so excited to come home when racing finished the other day. I was like, I just can't wait now. And yet now I'm home. There's part of me going, I just want to get back on with this. I'm missing out on something. You know, entries are out tomorrow morning. I've been looking at entries all day today, just trying to see what's coming up that I can ride or what I could get a ride on. And I'm just gonna, I'm just treating every day as a bit of a. I've just basically put myself back in the learning process and gone. I'll see where it lands me and what it does, and there's no skin off my nose, as in I've put everything into it, and I know in 10 years' time I won't regret something, because if it doesn't work, it's something I've had a go at, and it's gone better. It's gone better than I thought it would anyway. So that's the start.
No, it's amazing. Obviously, as you mentioned then, obviously you do everything for your family, and obviously you want to make sure you succeed in every way possible.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got a young lad there, a couple of young lads there. Finley, my lad in Newmarket, he works for a trainer there. I'm trying to think of what his name is now, in front of mind blank. But he wants to be a jockey, and I just hope it's something that he can look at one day and go, there's a bit of inspiration there from it all, and take something from it. And quite a few people have took something from it anyway, as in regards to, there's a couple of lads there that are making comebacks, and a couple of lads that have decided to go and choose and do something different, because they've looked at me and gone, well, if he can do that and he's pushing and he's doing as well, anybody can do it. And it's that I do believe in that. I believe that if you put your mind to anything, if you really want it, you can get there eventually.
Yeah, you can, definitely. So let's just talk about obviously the differences, obviously riding in England or any other country to obviously where you are now, Bahrain.
It's so obviously that in England it's an elite sport, that you've got a lot of lads that have literally lived their whole life through being brought through horses. They've got a good support network. Bahrain once upon a time wasn't like that. It was very much just leg them up and let them go. They've got their own jockey academy now, and it seems to do well. Like Brahim Nader, who's champion jockey out there at the minute, or riding the most winners out there, and he's doing really well. There's a lot of lads coming through, and it's different because obviously it's different cultures and different people, and it's all adapting to each other and each other's riding style. I like kind of look at a race like it's a bit of a game of chess. Not that I've ever really played it, but the old theory into it. Like you look at certain people, you know which people to follow, which people not to follow, which horses to follow. It's and it's a big up and coming country. Like they're trying to push to be bigger and better. And the plans that I've seen whilst I've been out there, it's absolutely huge. Golf courses right beside the track. Tennis,
life, isn't it?
It's absolutely unreal what they're wanting to do, and they will push to do it, because what they've done so far in space of a short time, a couple of years. I don't really know it. I don't know his second name, but Andy, who used to do Chelmsford, he's gone out there as the course manager, and he runs all the turf. And I went out there a couple of years ago with Astro King as a work rider, and walked it most days with Oshinor, and we just basically just look at the ground each day. and it used to be very, because it used to get hammered on the inside, and obviously with the weather and the climate, it was tough to maintain. They used to put a lot of sand down, so it was very always dead on the inside.
All right.
But 2 years on, the how the grass is, how the course is itself, it's actually quite amazing now. The step forward they took already, and it's only going to get better. It's like anything.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you believe that. It's like me when I made me come back. I believed that I could just carry on where I left off, and I could still know what I'm doing. And whilst I don't think I've done bad at it, I'm not going to say I've done great at it. But whilst I've not done bad at it, every day I've literally learned more and more and more. And every time I'm going racing, it's just another step forward. And that's the thing. I don't think you ever stop learning. And anybody who believes that they've mastered any sport or anything, I think they're a little bit silly to think like that, because I'm one of them that goes, even at the age of 44, I'm still learning massively.
Yeah, but you're always learning all the time, and it's great to hear that. Obviously, that Bahrain's obviously making changes along the way and trying to keep up with everyone else. But amazing as well that they're obviously starting their own jockey academy, as you mentioned before, which is really good. Obviously, hopefully the youth over there will start getting involved in more. So, how do you think, obviously, moving to Bahrain's changed you personally or professionally?
It's made me a lot. It's made me. It's given me a bit of a new lease of life, to be honest with you, because I was going through the whole realm of. Obviously, a lot of people know that within the horse racing world, there's a lot of there's just drinking. People generally turn to drink because of they're missing that that thing that they need in life, and to go from going to work every day and going and having a couple of pints and just doing the same thing every day and not really having much drive, especially when you've been professional and you've had a professional job and you're doing everything such a buzz every day. You're chasing your weight, you're chasing rides, you're trying to get on the best rides, then you're in a race, then you're off, then you're next, you ride a winner, you ride. Everything's so quick, and I think it's when that stops, I think a lot of lads struggle because there's not really much. What can you do other than get a buzz from that? I went motorbike racing, did short circuit racing in England because I wanted to find something that could give me that adrenaline rush that I was lacking. And even then, after that, I still would be. I just got a pub today. I'm bored. I just go. I'm depressed. I feel a little bit low today. I'm a little bit. I need to undo this. I need to go and have a drink, and that was my whole probably mindset for the last so many years. And yet, when I turned around towards the end of last year, and I said to quite a few people, I think a lot of people probably there was a lot. I've got a lot of very supportive friends, because you know what I'm like when I'm very much. If I want to grasp something, I can put my mind to anything.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of people did go, fair play to you, and a lot of people are like very, like they say, you can't believe how well you've done, and so fair play to you because you put you all into it. But then I know there's a lot of people out there that have probably looked at me and gone, what is he doing? What's he got to prove? Why does he need to do that? But it weren't so much for. I'm not doing it to prove a point. I'm doing it to probably better my family's life. I want to give a little bit more to my wife and little girl, because my wife has been very supportive through it all. For me to be able to go off for so many months, and her allowed me to do that and take all of the ship at home and look after little and let me go and do that and have the faith that I could do it. That's somewhat massive. And like I said, it's giving. I just always believe that I've got more to give to my family, and that's what I've always wanted to do. So when it come around and I took that on, I was like, right, I'm doing it. And I went from I think I was 66 kg when I started, and I went, obviously, like I said, I went down to a too light a weight because the weights aren't that low in Bahrain anyway. But I went down to 54, and but it was the proof that even just to myself to go, I could get to this. So the riding side is just something else I can take on and go again.
Oh, it's amazing that. Sorry.
Go on, carry on.
No, yeah, it's amazing that you've got obviously amazing people around you, because not everyone's that fortunate, and obviously it's amazing to obviously hear about. Obviously, your family are very supportive as well. How much do they mean to you? Your family?
My family is absolute everything to me, and it's something that I think if people are lucky enough to have it, you just I've always been a very big family oriented person. It is my biggest thing in life, and that's why I always believe that giving more to my family. But then at the same time, I've got some very close friends as well, and whilst everything's gone well enough, and obviously as an athlete, should I call myself? I don't even know whether I should. Even I still question myself daily whether I should call myself that. And even whatever I am, I still know that whilst I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it's been a big struggle. Like obviously spending the time away from my family and not being there at Christmas and not even just everything. Not being there for my daughter. I know she struggles because she's very much like me. She's very much art on sleeve, and I've had my dark days, but like I said, I've got a good support network behind me. I obviously speak to Oaksy quite a lot, and I've got really good friends that I can pick the phone up to. And I'm one of them people that mental health is a massive thing now in my life. As in, I've gone through it myself, and now I know how to do. I won't ever say I'll know how to deal with it, but I know how to cope with it.
Yeah.
And my biggest go-to is if I ever feel rubbish, I'm no longer scared of going. Whereas once before, I probably hold it all in and just build it up. Now I just speak to people, even if it's to have a conversation, and then someone will say something, and because they know me so well now, they know by the tone of my voice or whatever reason I'm ringing them up for, they'll go, "Oh, you're a bit quiet," and then because I've learned to express my feelings, I literally open up straight away. I talk about it, and within 15 minutes, I'm ready to go again, and it's just another. And that's the biggest thing I like. Having a family is one thing. Having a good support network, friends, and people around you like IJF and Sporting Chance, people like that, because there's a lot of it that goes on within the sport now, and I kind of try and preach about it a bit now, as in like I try and speak to a lot of people about it and just try and get them to reach out.
Yeah,
because it's something that needs to be done. Because like I said, it's a very high and low job. One day you can be up here, whether it's a jockey, a work rider, a head lad, a trainer, everybody goes through the same thing every day, and it's not your normal 9 to 5 job where you sit there and at a computer and take phone calls, and even then I'd imagine that's a struggle for people. Because what drive can you get from that? But I just like to believe that a lot of people, if they were to take something from this, if you ever just speak to people, because that's the biggest shout. So.
No, amazing, yeah, and I totally 100% agree what you've said there. Obviously, being a jockey, or not just being a jockey, anyone involved in racing or any equine sport, it is tough. You have highs and you have lows. Obviously, you're not always going to be on a high all the time. You're going to have the days where, as you mentioned before, the dark days, and obviously you can struggle. But obviously, it'd be really good if everyone could speak out, and obviously, just there's always people there for someone.
And there's. Like I said, there's so many people you can reach out to within the sport, and it's just like I say, I think a lot of people when they first do it are a little bit dubious. Like there's been a few people that have said to me, and they've gone, I don't really want to do that, and then when they've reached out, they've gone, I feel a bit stupid and a bit soft and a bit. I always believed before that mental health was one of these things that just didn't exist. I went through the process of losing my dad, and then I took it. It obviously hit me very hard, and then I realised what it actually is. And then ever since that time, now like all I do is try and spot when people are low. Try and don't get me wrong, some people don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to be reached. It's like me for some days. If I'm in a bad place, some days people will come up to me and they'll go, they know what I am as a character, especially in the Middle East, because I get up 3:30 most mornings. They'll approach me and they'll be like, you're all right, and I'll just be quiet, and they'll try and go a little bit further, and then they'll just completely understand that I need to be left alone for that time. Because some people just need. Some days I can literally walk up. Yeah, some days I could walk up to even you and just go, I'm really struggling and whatever. And then other days I just don't want to be approached. I want my time on my own, and then I'll come around. Everybody's like that. I think
everyone's different, aren't they?
There's a time and place, and as long as you reach out, or as long as you speak to them, or let them know that you're there, there's something there in place already. Like, so, yeah.
No, definitely 100%. So let's just go on to your time in the saddle now. Obviously, you've had over 200 winners worldwide. What's been your proudest moment in the saddle, would you say?
I'd probably say, and I can talk about your biggest winners and what you've ridden, but I do love the fact that, like, obviously my two boys were here were young when I was riding, so they kind of got a gist that I was doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
But my daughter hadn't seen that. She's only seen the odd video and the odd pictures, so that's part of it. What's my proudest moment? Probably, I probably will actually say the proudest moment is probably my comeback, because I'd literally go, if I'm honest, I all feels a bit surreal to me at the minute. I keep saying this to people. I finished riding the other day, and all the big lads were over for the big meeting, and I only had one ride on that day. I had 3 the day before, but I had one ride on that day, and I went up and sat at the bar because I was coming to fly home, and I thought, I'm going to have a gin and tonic. And I sat there and watched the racing, and it felt very surreal that I don't actually believe, in my mind, on it, and this is honestly, it doesn't feel like I've actually ridden in nearly 70 races already. And I was watching them go around, and I was like, I've just done that. And it's almost a bit out of body experience, to be honest with you. It's taking a long time for my brain to process the fact that what I'm actually doing. So my proudest moment probably is doing what I did. And just the younger years is obviously I stopped that 10 years ago, and it's all kind of a little bit. I know what I did. I know, like, I won the Qatar Derby and the Guineas and Derby Trial all in 1 year on a horse, and the National Day Cup, and I know I rode some big winners, but it's when I think when you stop doing something for so long, although you remember what you've done, you don't remember how it was done, or, like I said, it's but your body. It's very strange how your body adapts to, because as soon as I jumped back in the saddle race riding, I felt like I needed to change things, but I was straight race riding wise. When I went in the stalls, it just felt natural.
No, it's surreal. It obviously must be surreal, obviously, watching yourself back and stuff, and obviously being a jockey, like, because obviously not many can do it. Obviously,
I'm actually one of them now. I don't really like watching myself back.
Oh, really?
But this real, I don't know what it is this time around. I used to always watch and go, what can I change? What can I do?
Can you improve?
Yeah, and then when this time around, when it first started, I'd watch them a little bit, but then I kind of just don't really want to look back now. I don't really want to look. I've kind of been, through speaking to certain people and speaking to the right channel, through the right channels.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I'm too busy looking to the future and worrying about what's going to happen in the future.
Next.
And I don't want to look behind, because there's a lot of sadness, and there's a lot of good stuff as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not been. I've had a great life in racing, but there's a lot of, like, things that I don't really want to go. So when it comes to, like, the whole format of race riding, I want to ride my races and go home and just forget about it and just chill out.
Switch off. Because I think with a lot of jockeys, you don't get that time to switch off. Like, I was speaking to Ross Ryan on the podcast a couple of not so long ago, and obviously he said that he needed to go back to home and obviously just switch off from racing and just try and get away from it all, because obviously it can be, especially with his
and and when I went to Saudi, I went to Saudi 3 months after I brought Astro King to Bahrain 2 years ago, just as a work rider. And I went to Saudi, and David Allen were out there, and obviously rode with him for a long time in the north and whatever. And he's a good friend, and we were talking. I just said, I just still do it, whatever. And he just literally said, I don't go on and watch my races. What's done is done. And I've kind of probably adapted to that.
Like that approach.
I've got to stop looking.
Yeah.
What I've done is I stopped looking at the past and was looking too much to the future. Oh, what if I come off this? What if I get injured? I like to believe, as they call it in the racing world, that my bottle's still good. The problem is, I think of the family side. I go, what happens if I did get an injury, or what happens if and I've that's been my struggle since I come back. But I've spoke to the right people now, and over the last couple of weeks, I've learned to just go, forget about there. I need to think about here and where I'm at now. Think of all the positives, and then keep it positive. And then, because like the guy I was speaking to, he said, you can't change what the future is, and you will never be able to control the future. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So I've kind of took that on board, and I think it's going well. Like, if you would have said to me 6 months ago, you're going to be in Bahrain and you're going to ride in 70 races by January, and you're going to have had 4 winners, I'd have laughed and I'd have snapped your arm off at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet, like anything in life, you always want that bit more. And I've just got to learn to trust the process and just wait for the better days to come. But like I said, there's no bad days, but I just want a better day.
Definitely, yeah. So talk to me a little bit about day-to-day life, and obviously getting up in the morning to going to bed at night over there.
Right, so it's a little bit strange out there because obviously the temperature and stuff, and they always have this different routine. So there's trainers who train in the morning, trainers who train on an evening. So I'm up at 3:30 every morning. I pull out first lot at 3:45 for Dan and Claire Kubler, who train for Sheikh Issa. I ride 4 lots in the normal, the main stables where everybody is, or the main area. Yeah. And then I go up to quarantine, and I've been riding up the pace who won the Turf Series race the other day in Bahrain, the big race. Riding till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then I generally try and go home and have an hour or two's kip. I barely sleep out out there. Sorry, I'm in England at the minute currently. Yeah. But out there, I probably only sleep about 5.5 hours a night, which is probably not ideal. Which probably why my mood is up and down. But then I'd have a couple of hours, and then I'd go off to the gym or jump on my bike and either do like 30 kilometers on the bike or run 10k or go to the gym. I like to try and maintain my weight, although that might be a little bit different after this week. But yeah, and then it's basically have a rest, probably sort out that evening's meal because I ain't got much else going on. Watch a bit of TV, and then I go and sit on some horses in the afternoon. So I've generally been riding up until obviously a few days ago when I came home. I've probably been riding 11, 12 horses a day, and then I generally can't sleep till 11 o'clock at night anyway, most times. So I get like probably 4 hours because I like to speak to the girls, like chat to the girls on the night before I go to bed. Yeah. And then it's up and again, and then my rest day for the last 4.5 months, yeah. My rest day is a race day, so even on a race day, it's getting up, checking my weight, and then either going for a run in a sweat or just trying to maintain whatever's going on. And then, like I said, it's pretty boring, the life I have out there, because I'm just trying to keep my head down, and I'm, the younger lads are out there and they're obviously very professional these days, and you've got to try and keep up with them and do what's right. Mm-hmm. And at the end of this 6 months, I plan on putting on a bit more weight again, and then we'll just see where the land lies as in regards to what I decide to do next year. And no one ever knows with me, because from one day to the next, something changes.
No, it's good to hear. Obviously, like differences. Obviously, speaking to jockeys over in the UK, and obviously I know some now who I've spoke to on the channel, like Josephine Gordon, Ross Ryan. I've been abroad. It's good to see the differences of what you do on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and like I say, I'm very much. It's one of them. Like I try and find different things to do. Like same again, something simple. I would never have imagined that I'd ever ride a road bike or a push bike
Yeah.
and wear lycra, and yet whilst I'm out there at the minute, it's something that I'm doing, unless I'm putting my sweatsuit top on and going for a sweat. But I generally, that's what I'm into at the minute, because it's just get out for an hour, fresh air, and try and do something constructive rather than just sitting around. And I'm one of them that I think that when you're sitting around and you are feeling a bit low, you just get lower. So you're better off switching your brain on a bit, doing a bit of exercise, or doing something that's drives you forward, and then you get off feeling better. And yeah, it's there's a lot of strange things happened in my life, and
Obviously, let's talk about yourself personally, wise, and a life away from the track. Obviously, I know you mentioned obviously into motor racing, and obviously, do you have any other hobbies that you like to keep busy away from the track?
well, I've been a DJ for the last 5 years.
Well, that's all right, isn't it?
Everybody knows that in the racing world, because I always do the local pubs and birthday parties for. But that I've kind of put that a bit on the slow burner at the
The back
minute,
burner, yeah.
to focus on that. Like a couple of people said to me today, "Oh, why don't you go and get the stuff and come out and do a bit tonight? And we'll get a load out." And I'm just like, nah.
No.
I'm home for a rest, and
Yeah.
I honestly, half the stuff I've done and do is just like I probably 6 years ago, I had a YouTube channel that's probably got 1 million views on metal detecting, because I took on metal detecting, and Mine Lab sponsored me, and I was doing all the testing their machines, and I was finding hordes and I found loads of good things. And
yeah.
when I stopped riding in the Middle East the last time around due to weight, and I was still doing well at the time, but I just had enough and wanted to obviously I have a family, and I did make class 1 and class 2 through Jets and Oaksey House. So I drove low loaders for a couple of years. There's so many things that I've done. I've forgot half the things that I've even done. The only thing I'm not good at is golf. which I'd love to be able to be good at. But,
no, it's fast. Obviously, you've got loads. You're keeping yourself busy, and doing what you love to do. And obviously, once we go back to that point again, obviously, you're trying to do everything. Obviously, go to for your family and trying to succeed in every way possible.
And that's the thing. I think you have your goals in life, and you aim to do things, but eventually that changes when you have a family, and you want what's best for them, or that's how I feel anyway.
Yeah,
and when this opportunity come around, it weren't even an opportunity. Dan and Claire were coming out here. I was their yard manager. They wanted me to stay in the UK, and I just sat down with him and said, "You know what I'm like? I really want to go and race ride again." And they were like, obviously had a conversation, and they said, "Well, we don't really want to lose you as a person, so we'd be happy for you to come out." And that's all it fell into, just because I had an idea in my head that I went, you know what, why shouldn't I have one more go? Why can't I have one more go? And I do believe age is just a number. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't think you bounce as well when you fall off. I don't think you recover as quick. But at the same time, if you do it in the right way, and like I said, if you have the right people around you supporting you, or the right people with the right advice, you can pretty much do what you want to do. Really, there's no excuses. I don't. Yeah. It's I 4 or 5 times I have threatened to quit and want to come home and just go the easy route. And there's been a couple of people there that have just gone, look what you've done already. Why would you want to stop now? Because you've done the hard work to get where you are. it's only going to get easier because you're falling back into something that you hadn't done for so long, and that's me. That's my mindset really. I've had a little bit of time at home. I'm going right. I just want to get the bit between the teeth. I'm going to have to because I'm going to have to go. I'm actually going to go to Oaksey House tomorrow because I've had a couple of nice meals the last few nights, and it's not gonna. It's not gonna be. It's not my normal meals. It's not my salmon and broccoli and healthy food. I've had a curry there last night, and I kicked myself today, and I'm just like, but I'm treating it this way. Normally, I'd worry about it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it today because I'm literally going. I've got to where I've got. I deserve it, and I'm having my little respite. And then when I go back next week, it's just do what I've got to do and get on with it. Get my head down again for 2.5 months, and then see where I'm at. Then I've been offered a couple of opportunities there to go to like places like Jersey and have a bit of fun racing out there. I did it before. There's money in that. Once every few weeks and whatever, and I look at England. People have said that I should, but I don't. The one thing I do believe is that.
Would you ever come back and race in England again? Do you think?
No, when I first started back, I was that determined that I was like, I'll give anything a go when it comes to race riding. The more I'm doing it, the more I look at it, I go, England is very tough when you're at your highest, or when you're especially at a younger age. For me to try and do it now would be probably a bit way too far out of reach, I think. And I won't want to make a fool of myself for one. The Bahrain side is different because there's no pressure. It's me just going and scratching an itch, seeing how I can get on. And if at the end of the winter it doesn't work, I can come home and say I've rode 100 winners and 100 rides and so many winners, and that's it. And I can go back to normal life, and I know I've got nothing to ever look back on and regret. Whereas England side, the world is watching, especially the world that we live in. And I go, I just see it too far out of reach. So the way I look at it, I go, like places like Jersey, if I can go there once every couple of weeks and then go back to Bahrain next winter and have a go again, or Qatar where I was originally at, then there's the option to doing that. I would do that again. I would definitely do Qatar again. But this time around, I'm just going to go. I'm not looking tomorrow. I'm not looking back. I'm just going every day as it comes. If something don't happen right in the next few weeks and it feels out of my system where I go, or out of reach, and I go, enough's enough, and I've got a family at home, then I will always put my family first. Whilst it's going how it's going, I'm happy to stick at it and keep going, and just give the girls a nice holiday at the end of the winter and have a little bit, probably a couple of weeks rest, and then just reassess and see where I lay. But for me, like I said at the minute, it's just enjoy what I'm doing.
Definitely,
enjoy getting legged up. And like I said, I'm almost like a bit of a kid, really. It's almost like letting me go back and do something that in normal life most people won't even do. Like most 20-year-old people won't get on a horse and ride them in a race.
No, definitely. You wouldn't see me doing that.
No, and yet at my age, and I'm still going back and doing it, I'll give myself a pat on the back for the fact that I've actually gone through with what I wanted to do. And trust me, the amount of times I've wanted to back out of it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But just not had the sheer. I'm not. What's the word? I'm too stubborn. That's what I am.
Yeah.
I'm too stubborn. I won't give up until it's a point where I go, there's nothing more I can do. And whilst I can do more, I'll keep driving forward.
No, definitely. And obviously, I know you mentioned before that obviously you've just come home to England for the rest, obviously, and you surprised your daughter. You were coming home. What was that feeling like? I seen the video today.
If I talked about it too much, I'll break down. But basically, I said to me, like I said, I'd obviously went through the process of speaking to Dan and Claire and getting a bit of time away, and I was meant to come home on the 19th of February for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
But that's during Ramadan, and the racing goes on till midnight, and the only flight they have is, or one of the only flights is at 2:15 a.m. So obviously I sorted all that. I was coming home, and I was going to keep it a secret for Jess as well, and just come back and surprise Jess and my wife as well. And then there was a bit of confusion, and my brother had said that I was coming home, and it basically it didn't leak out, but I just kind of went, I'm coming home, but I don't want Isla to find out.
Yeah.
So I got obviously landed yesterday, and I went up to the cafe in Lambourne Goodies, and I basically went and hid in the back. And my wife and daughter came in, and they were like, went in, and what I didn't realise it, but one of the girls had filmed it. That one of the girls behind the counter, and basically I just come out and I just said, "Who's having breakfast?" And she had a meltdown, and I had a meltdown, and half the cafe had a meltdown. To be fair,
it was lovely to see. It was a great video. It was really lovely to see, and obviously you could see the emotion in her as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, it was. Whilst it was a great idea, when she was there sobbing, I was like, "Oh my word, what have I done?" But then that's the beauty of it. That's the surprise side of it. Like, and yeah, but at the same time, she's very proud of what I'm doing. That means that, like I said, and Jess, they're both very proud of what I'm doing, and they're both probably my biggest fans. You know, that Isla comments on all the YouTube all the time saying Dad's riding and he's the best jockey, and that means a massive amount to me, because I'm making memories that whatever happens from here on in, there's no pressure on me, because I literally go, she knows what I was before, but now she's actually witnessed it herself, and she can know that in life she don't have to ever really, if she wants to do something, she can adapt to that and do it, and not back down even when she's struggling, because she's got that kind of attitude like me that goes, whilst we doubt ourselves a lot, we've got the determination and the grit to do what we want to do if we want to do it, and I just have to remind myself that quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's hope she's watching this when this goes out. Let's hope she's watching this, and obviously we're giving a shout out. So
you'll be getting some comments. Let me. Isla.
Not there now.
Come and say hello, because this will be going out, and you'll probably make comments.
Hi, Isla, you okay?
Hello, yeah, thank you.
How you made up your dad's home?
Are you happy that I'm home?
Yeah.
Only for a short time, isn't it?
No, it's amazing. It's amazing to see you, Isla.
Hello, bye.
Bye. Oh no, she looks made up to be out. So let's just talk a little bit about the future for yourself. What does the future look like?
Like I said, every day as it comes. In an ideal world, I want to do well. I want to ride a few more winners. I basically want to get my foot properly in the door, and then look at, like, obviously, like I said, probably I don't know what I'll decide on summer wise, but my plan is to definitely do a bit of Jersey, because that auction's here, and I was a bit there before, and it's enjoyable racing, and it's a bit of fun, and there's money involved, so that'd be a bit of pocket money for holidays and stuff. And then in an ideal world, I'd like to probably try and get back to Middle East next year. You know, I quite enjoy working for Dan and Claire and Sheikh Issa, and it's quite an easy going job out there. They've got nice horses, so even just the work riding side on that part is really good. I had my first ride from last week, so that was quite nice to have worked for them for 5 years and then be able to get legged up in the saddle to ride one as well for them and Sheikh Issa. Like I said, I'm just basically taking every day as it comes. I'm not really thinking too much about it, because like I say, I'm one of them. If I think too much about it, don't go right. I'm disappointed in myself. So I'm just gonna one step at a time. I've done what I've done so far, and I'm probably deep down when I sit down at the end of the season, I'll be probably immensely proud of what I've done. I'm kind of proud now, but at the same time, I'm still chasing a bit more, so that I'm still looking at the negatives and what can change and what I can change and whatever. But I'm just lucky I'm getting the opportunity to do it again, and that's how I need to feel. I don't want to put any pressure on myself. I don't want to give myself any. I've got no goals. The goals are week to week, stay safe, make some money, enjoy what I'm doing, enjoy the weather for one, because one thing I did know when I landed back here yesterday was a bit of a eye opener. When I went for a meal today and I went to the shop after and I had to walk home in the rain, I was like, I'm glad I'm not getting up tomorrow morning and having to ride out in this. So it's there's a lot of positives at what I'm doing, and there's some negatives, and it kind of it's a bit of a level playing field, really. Just the whole family side of life is the tough bit, but at the end of the day, I'm always on the end of FaceTime, and we're always chatting most days, and I just try and be as present as I can when I can, and I've got big brothers, and they all watch me racing each week, and they're always messaging me, telling me, you rode this way, you done well. Like, it's just nice to have a lot of support behind me. And I think a lot of people, from what I've spoke to in the last couple of days, a lot of people are like really like rooting for me, because they just want me to. They can see what I'm sacrificing for what I'm doing. So, like I said, it's just stay safe, be healthy, and just get home at the end of the season. And then, if nothing ever transpired, I've got a story to tell, and it's a good story as well, because there's not many people that step out of that comfort zone of a family and go away again. So
100%. And hats off to you for what you've done so far in racing. So I was going to ask you a few quick fire questions now for yourself personally. What's your favourite racetrack to ride at?
So
what you've ridden? Your favourite racetrack?
What in the world?
Yeah. What you?
I love York.
Oh, York.
Yeah, York's my favourite track. Yeah.
Favourite racehorse you've ridden?
Favourite racehorse I've ridden, and it's not even. I haven't actually rode him in a race, but it'd be Astro King, because we were two old codgers together that have literally driven each other on and proved that. And he's the only horse that I can actually shout him from one end of the yard to the other, and he comes running out of his stable looking for me. He's more like a friend than a horse, but yeah, Astro King.
Favourite cheap meal?
Favourite?
Cheap meal?
Cheap meal?
Yeah, what have you had? What have you had the last couple of days? You're not feeling so good then?
I love a curry.
Oh, you love a curry, yeah.
I love it, yeah. I'm a bit of a sucker for a curry, yeah. Try and stay away from the creamy ones. I go for the tomato-based ones, and I had one last night from the Verge up near Swindon. There, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Obviously, you mentioned before you obviously done some DJing. What would you say your favourite band or song is? Got a favourite song? Or a favourite artist?
There's a very I'm a massive. I'm into dance music and stuff. So like Tiesto's and stuff like that. But there's I'm trying to think of the song. It's Chris Brown, Paradise.
Oh, right, okay.
I believe that one day when I do go to do it, that'll be my funeral song, because that'll just basically nail it in so many few words at what I was as a person. That's yeah.
Oh, amazing, yeah. What's one horse we also look out for in the future? Maybe you ride, or in maybe Bahrain or the UK?
A horse to look out for. I'd probably say a horse called Chinese Whisper. He's the brother to South China Sea that ran in the Derby the other day. The ground was very quick there Friday, so I think he probably wanted a bit of juice and he got beat, but he won very impressive for both 2 times before that. And the younger brother I ride out every day, and I've galloped to him and the younger brother, and I think the younger brother is going to be a seriously nice horse for His Highness Sheikh Issa and Dan Clare. Yeah, so.
Amazing. Just one last question to end the podcast today. It's been unbelievable chatting to yourself. Have you got one message to anyone who's helped you along the way in your career? And obviously, I know you mentioned the likes of Claire. There's probably too many people to name. But
Yeah.
if you were to give, if you're watching now and you were to give them a message, what would you say?
I just said like thank you for opportunities have been given to me. Like bosses and people like to stick to what they have, and they make people stay in place. I didn't have that, especially with Dan and Claire. They let me come and do this, so I'm forever grateful for that. And just like the whole support network that I've got behind me and friends and family, like I say, it's they've helped me get through the dark days while I've been sat on my own in an apartment in the Middle East. Whilst I'm a very sociable person normally, so I'm just grateful for everything that people say, nice comments, and hopefully I can keep doing what I'm doing and have the support there with me as well along the way. So yeah.
No, definitely. It's been unbelievable chatting to you today. It's really good to hear your story, obviously throughout your whole career and obviously where you are going in the future as well. And it's been really fascinating to listen to that. And obviously it was really nice seeing Ada on the show as well, making an appearance. This is good.
She'll be watching. You'll probably get 1,000 comments off her.
But it's been really great having you on the show today, Mark, and obviously best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much, mate.